Is Apple running out of ideas? Once the gold standard of innovation, the tech giant now faces scrutiny over its recent iPhone releases, which often feature minor updates rather than groundbreaking advancements. With the release of the iPhone XS, Apple shifted from revolutionary innovations to more modest refinements. Nowadays, questions arise. Is Apple experiencing an innovation crisis? In this video, we'll know the factors behind this shift and what it means for the future of Apple. The release of the first iPhone in 2007 was a game changer in the tech world. It wasn't just a phone. It combined a web browser, an MP3 player, and a touch interface into one sleek, easy-to-use device. This new approach set Apple apart, offering a seamless blend of hardware and software that competitors couldn't match. The iPhone became more than a product. It set the standard for what smartphones could and should be. Over the next few years, Apple continued to push boundaries. Features like the Retina display improved screen clarity, and Face ID introduced a new level of biometric security. Each new iPhone seemed to offer something people didn't even know they needed, whether it was better performance, new design elements, or exciting new apps. The buzz around every release grew, with eager customers lining up outside Apple stores for hours, even days, just to get their hands on the latest model. Apple's combination of simple design, smooth performance, and useful features created a loyal fan base that other brands struggled to match. The launch of the iPhone XS in 2018 marked a turning point in Apple's product strategy. From that point on, the focus shifted toward refining existing features, like cameras, processors, and battery life, rather than introducing revolutionary new technologies. While each model offered slightly better performance, the upgrades became harder for users to notice in everyday use. This trend is also clear in the design of recent iPhones. For the past 5 years, the overall look of the devices has stayed mostly the same, with only minor changes such as thinner bezels or slight adjustments to size. What used to be exciting, with fresh designs and bold new features, now feels more predictable and familiar. As a result, the anticipation that once surrounded each release has faded. One of the few changes that stood out was the introduction of the dynamic island on the iPhone 14 Pro. Marketed as a new way to manage notifications and interact with apps, it reworks the space previously occupied by the notch. However, this feature seems more cosmetic than functional, offering limited improvement to the overall user experience. Another recent change was the switch to a USB-C charging port on the iPhone 15. While many welcomed the move, it wasn't Apple's idea, but a response to European Union regulations. Though useful, the change highlights Apple's reactive approach, following external rules rather than leading with its own vision. As Apple refined its products year after year, it began to fall behind in one of the fastest growing areas of technology: artificial intelligence. Competitors like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon jumped ahead, making AI a key part of their products. Google's Assistant and Microsoft's AI-powered Copilot, for example, are changing the way people interact with devices, creating smarter tools that connect seamlessly across platforms. Meanwhile, Apple's AI, like Siri, feels outdated, unable to match the speed or versatility of its rivals. When Siri first launched in 2011, it felt revolutionary, but over time, it lost its edge. While other companies improved their AI by adding features like advanced language understanding and better app integration, Siri remained limited. Many users now find it frustrating because it struggles with complex commands and lacks the customization that Google Assistant and Alexa offer. One reason Apple lags behind in AI is its strong focus on privacy. Unlike its competitors, Apple is cautious about collecting user data, which limits how much it can improve its AI models. While this privacy-first approach aligns with Apple's values, it also means the company can't compete as effectively with those that rely on massive data to make smarter AI tools. Apple's absence from recent AI developments, like the rise of tools such as ChatGPT and Google Bard, has raised questions about whether it's keeping up with the changing tech landscape. While Google and Microsoft are pushing AI into everything, from search engines to productivity tools, Apple's response has been quiet. The company seems to be playing catch-up, reportedly working on its own AI systems, but the slow pace leaves many wondering if it's enough to stay relevant in the future. The shift from Steve Jobs to Tim Cook brought significant changes to Apple's leadership, which in turn affected the company's approach to innovation. Jobs was known for his visionary thinking and hands-on decision-making. He had a rare ability to predict how new technologies could shape the future and wasn't afraid to take bold risks. His leadership gave us products that transformed industries, like the iPhone, iPad, and iTunes. This committee of one approach ensured that ideas were executed with clarity and focus, resulting in groundbreaking innovations. In contrast, Tim Cook's leadership is more collaborative and focused on operational excellence. Cook has been exceptional at managing Apple's supply chains and streamlining production processes, making the company more efficient. However, this shift toward optimization has raised concerns about Apple's ability to innovate at the same pace. In a 2013 interview with Businessweek, Cook emphasized that everyone at Apple is responsible for innovation. While this approach promotes creativity across the company, it can also spread responsibility too thin, reducing accountability for bold ideas. This challenge becomes more apparent when compared to companies like Google, which invest heavily in specialized innovation labs, such as Google X, to explore ambitious projects like self-driving cars. Apple, by contrast, has avoided creating dedicated innovation divisions, instead relying on internal teams to improve existing products. While this strategy aligns with Cook's belief in company-wide creativity, it limits Apple's ability to pursue high-risk, disruptive ideas that could reshape markets. Apple's ability to manufacture products at a massive scale is one of its greatest strengths, but it also presents significant challenges for innovation. Each year, Apple sells millions of devices within a few months, which puts enormous pressure on the company to ensure smooth production, consistent quality, and on-time delivery. This demand makes it difficult to experiment with bold, untested ideas. A new feature that disrupts the established manufacturing process could cause delays or product recalls, issues that could cost the company billions. For example, Apple has introduced innovations in packaging, such as removing plastic wrap to align with its sustainability goals. While these efforts are important, they don't capture consumer attention the same way new product features do. This highlights a key challenge. Innovation isn't just about coming up with new ideas, it's also about scaling those ideas effectively across millions of devices without sacrificing quality. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed the difficulties of maintaining mass production under challenging conditions. Even though Apple minimized delays, such as the brief postponement of the iPhone 12 launch, the disruptions exposed how fragile global supply chains can be. With such a tightly integrated manufacturing process, even small disruptions can cause ripple effects, delaying product launches or affecting profitability. This need for precision makes it difficult for Apple to introduce highly experimental features like foldable screens or modular designs. Unlike smaller companies that can take risks with unfinished technologies, Apple must meet strict quality standards to maintain consumer trust. Any misstep could damage its reputation. As a result, Apple prioritizes incremental improvements like better cameras and faster processors over radical changes. Apple has made a strong commitment to environmental stewardship, aiming for carbon neutrality across its entire supply chain by 2030. This initiative signifies a shift toward responsible innovation, where the focus broadens from merely adding new features to reducing environmental impact. While this long-term strategy aligns with global sustainability trends, it does pose challenges for the speed at which Apple can introduce radical innovations. Every new product now needs to meet strict environmental standards, affecting everything from manufacturing processes to end-of-life disposal. This requirement limits Apple's ability to experiment freely, as it must strike a careful balance between performance, durability, and recyclability. For example, enhancing device repairability, making parts easier to access and replace, demands fundamental design changes that can delay the rollout of new features. Although these modifications are vital for sustainability, they complicate the development process and often lead to more incremental updates rather than groundbreaking advancements. Apple's decision to eliminate plastic wrap from iPhone packaging and use recycled materials in its components illustrates the company's increasing focus on sustainable innovation. However, these efforts may go unnoticed by consumers, who might view them as minor compared to traditional technological advancements. This raises an important question: is Apple prioritizing the right kind of innovation for today's world? In a time marked by environmental challenges and resource limitations, Apple's commitment to sustainability appears both responsible and forward-thinking. However, it also risks not meeting consumer expectations for groundbreaking technology. Finding the right balance between sustainability and innovation is crucial for maintaining Apple's status as a market leader. Steve Jobs famously believed that small innovations in every component could lead to significantly better products. This philosophy drove Apple to create devices that were not just functional, but also exceptional in design and usability. However, in recent years, Apple seems to be leaning toward a strategy of incremental innovation, focusing more on refining existing technologies rather than introducing groundbreaking new features. A prime example of this approach is Apple's investment in in-house chip development. The company is already designing processors for future products, including those expected to launch in 2025. This long-term planning emphasizes enhancing performance within established frameworks rather than pursuing radical innovations. Moreover, even minor adjustments, such as updates to packaging design, showcase Apple's careful attention to detail. While these changes may not create the same excitement as a major product launch, they demonstrate a commitment to improving the overall user experience. Will Apple adapt and reclaim its innovative edge, or are we witnessing the decline of a tech titan? Share your opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights and updates on the tech world. Until then, have a good bye.